Level 1. Poverty. Imagine you're dropped onto a game map with no armor, no weapons, and barely enough health to stand up. Your fridge hums, but inside there's just a half-empty bottle of ketchup and a carton of eggs 2 days past expiration. Rent is due in 6 days. Your phone screen blinks with another urgent notification from the electric company. Every day is survival mode. It's not about winning, just making it to tomorrow. You juggle bills like a circus act, hands always full, hoping nothing slips. Grocery shopping turns into an extreme sport. You count coins at the checkout, scanning barcodes with your heart in your throat, praying you don't have to hand anything back. The bus is your daily chariot. It's crowded and late, but walking means shoes wearing out faster and you can't afford new ones. Plans? Those are for people who have options. Here you just react. A flat tire means a week of ramen for dinner. A doctor's visit without insurance is a plot twist you never want to see. If you get sick, you Google symptoms and hope for the best. But the point is, you're still moving. You learn to stretch, save, and hustle on a level most people never see. And somewhere inside, you wonder, what would life feel like with just a little more? Level 2. Working class. Now imagine you've finally unlocked your first real bit of armor. It's a lightweight jacket, nothing fancy, but it keeps out the cold. You clock in and out of work like a pro. There's a steady paycheck, enough to keep the lights on and groceries in the fridge. Your pantry actually has options. Maybe not name brands, but you're not staring down empty shelves every week. Rent gets paid, mostly on time. There's Wi-Fi in your apartment, not just a neighbor's mysterious open network. Evenings feature a real dinner, pasta with sauce, not just ketchup and noodles. You might even splurge on takeout once a month and feel like a king. But if the car sputters or your kid catches the flu, your budget starts leaking like a cracked bucket. You know exactly how much is left after each bill goes out. Every unexpected expense means a scramble, dipping into your rainy day fund, which is usually just a cookie jar with some loose change and a $20 bill. You scroll past vacation ads and fancy gadgets, telling yourself, maybe next year. At least you have weekends now. That means family movie nights on the couch, streaming the same few feel-good films, popcorn popped on the stove. It's not glamorous, but it's safe. Still, you can feel life pressing just beyond your reach. Like a glass ceiling you can see through but can't crack. The grind is real, but hope grows quietly at the edges, waiting for a chance to level up. Level 3. Lower middle class. Here's where things start to feel a bit more solid under your feet. It's like finally getting shoes with actual soles, no more feeling every crack in the sidewalk. You wake up in a place you can call your own, maybe with a tiny lawn or a balcony just big enough for a chair and a stubborn potted plant. Your fridge is stocked with real food and even some snacks you buy just because you feel like it. Bills don't scare you quite as much now. Direct deposit hits and you breathe easy, knowing everything is covered. You even have a checking account and a savings account, and there's a little cushion in between. Nothing flashy, but enough to handle a surprise trip to the dentist or a car battery that gives up in January. You start thinking about things like annual passes to the zoo or maybe a weekend getaway, not Europe, but the next town over. In practical terms, that you're not rich, but you're not on the edge. You can afford to fix things instead of duct taping them. You buy clothes that fit, not just whatever's on clearance. A birthday can mean a small party, not a canceled celebration, but you're still playing defense. A single layoff, a big hospital bill, or a sudden rent hike can knock the wind out of your sails. You watch the headlines and hope the economy stays calm. That sense of stability is real, but it's fragile. Always a little bit borrowed, never quite guaranteed. Now imagine what happens when you finally step up to the next level where comfort starts, just barely, to turn into confidence. Level 4. Middle class. Now you're playing a whole new game. Think of it as getting access to the private area in a video game. Still crowded, still not luxury, but everything feels organized and safe. You wake up in a house with curtains you actually chose. Maybe you're paying off a 30-year mortgage. Maybe it's a condo, but it's yours. The thermostat listens to you, not to a landlord's mood. There's a car in the driveway, maybe two, one of which always starts. The job pays enough that you set your bills to autopay and don't flinch when your phone dings. You have a checking account, a savings account, and now a retirement account too. Maybe even a half-remembered folder labeled investments. There's a vacation photo on the fridge from somewhere with sand, not just grass. You go out for dinner because you want to, not because you ran out of groceries, KWSY. Hobbies aren't just a dream, they're weekend projects, art classes, or barbecue grills you actually assemble. Emergencies still sting, but they don't wipe you out. If the hot water heater dies, it's annoying, not catastrophic. You've got insurance cards in your wallet and a dentist you see before things hurt. The kids play sports and you buy the uniforms without panic. But look closer. The treadmill never really stops. You keep one eye on your 401k, the other on your neighbor's new car. The finish line is always just over the next hill, and quietly, an itch grows. If this is the middle, what does the next level feel like? Level 5. Upper middle class. Now you're no longer playing to keep up, you're actually pulling ahead. Picture a life where the car's less than 5 years old and the check engine light is just a rumor you hear about from others. Your kitchen has gadgets with names you can't pronounce, and your coffee maker costs more than your old couch. You're not just paying the bills, you're setting aside extra for retirement, college funds, and the vacation fund that actually gets used. Weekend getaways now mean plane tickets, not just gas stations and rest stops. You can say yes to dinner reservations and not blink at the wine list. Groceries include the organic aisle, and birthdays come with gift wrap and choices. The kids have braces if they need them, music lessons, and a stack of after-school activities. If your dog swallows a sock, the vet bill is annoying, not a crisis. You've got a financial advisor who calls you by name. Investments aren't mysterious, they're monthly check-ins and spreadsheets that actually make sense. Furniture gets replaced because you want to, not because it's falling apart. When a storm takes out the roof shingles, you write a check and move on. But even here, you notice the difference. The goals shift. Suddenly, comfort breeds ambition. The conversations at dinner parties turn to rental properties, trusts, and second homes. The finish line moves again, just out of reach, tantalizing, shining a little brighter as you glimpse the next level. Level 6. Affluent. Now you're playing in a whole new league. Picture this. You don't just own your home, you might have a second one. Maybe a cabin in the woods or a condo with an ocean breeze. First-class upgrades don't just tempt you, they're a regular part of your travel routine. Passports fill with stamps, and hotel keycards pile up in your suitcase like trophies. Your kids' college funds are more than comfortable. You've already toured the campuses and met the deans. Private tutors, language lessons, and specialty summer camps are options, not pipe dreams. Family holidays mean actual holidays, not just rearranged work emails. The phrase legacy planning comes up in your dinner conversations, and your financial advisor gives you updates about markets you didn't even know existed. Work is still part of your life, but it feels different. You pick projects because you want to, not because you have to. Vacations don't end with an anxious glance at your bank app. There's a sense of cushion. If things go wrong, you have options, connections, and maybe even a lawyer on speed dial. Exclusive invitations start to arrive. Charity galas, investment opportunities, private tours, alumni events. Doors open that used to be locked. But with these privileges come new questions. Choices multiply, expectations climb, and for the first time, you realize every step up the ladder changes the view. Level 7. High net worth. Now you're not just climbing the ladder, you're building one of your own. Imagine walking into your living room and seeing art that needs insurance, not just dusting. You have a team, an actual team, handling your taxes, investments, and maybe even your calendar. There's a lawyer you trust, a financial advisor who brings you opportunities, and an accountant who speaks in terms like diversification and estate. Your assets aren't just in a bank, they're sprawled out across stocks, real estate, startups, maybe even a vineyard or a tech company. When your phone rings, it could be a business partner in another time zone. You host dinners where the guest list includes CEOs, doctors, and people who own entire office buildings. If you get bored of your neighborhood, you look into properties abroad. Owning a luxury SUV feels almost basic compared to the yacht that someone just mentioned at brunch. Vacations happen in private villas, not just fancy hotels. You might sponsor a table at charity auctions or help fund a new exhibit at the local museum. Your social circle is full of people who talk about philanthropy and IPOs the way others talk about Netflix shows. But the point is, the stakes are higher. A misplaced investment can be a six-figure mistake. Your calendar fills up with board meetings, strategy sessions, and sometimes you wonder if your time still belongs to you. The air is rarefied, but the pressure doesn't go away. If anything, it sharpens. And as the deals grow and the doors keep opening, the next level starts to come into focus, just beyond the next big decision. Level 8. Ultra high net worth. Now, you're not just playing in the big leagues, you're quietly influencing what gets played. Imagine glancing at your calendar and seeing cities instead of meetings. London for art auctions, Singapore for business, Aspen for the holidays. Your idea of home is plural. Penthouse, seaside villa, maybe a countryside estate with its own staff. You've reached the point where your address book looks like a Forbes list, and your weekend plans might include a boardroom or a black tie gala. In practical terms, your investments move entire companies. You have a seat at tables where policy gets whispered before it becomes news. Politicians recognize your name. Sometimes they ask for your advice or your support. You fund scholarships with your family crest. You quietly shape the future of a hospital or university with a single donation. It's like living inside an episode of Succession, but with fewer insults and more security detail. Your family talks about trusts and foundations like other people talk about family recipes. Every major decision involves advisors, strategists, sometimes even a family council. You start thinking not just about your legacy, but about your great-grandchildren's opportunities. But the point is, power and responsibility scale together. Every move ripples outward to employees, charities, even national headlines. The stakes have never been higher, and as this altitude becomes your new normal, there's still one more summit just ahead. Level 9. Billionaire. Now you're sitting at the top of the game board. It's not just about owning a slice of the world. You can flip the whole board if you want. Imagine your daily routine. Breakfast is a phone call with the prime minister, lunch is reviewing a blueprint for your new satellite network, and dinner is a gala where your name is the headline. Your face appears in business magazines and late-night monologues. People track your jets online. Tabloids invent stories about you for sport. When you buy a company, headlines shift. Entire industries adjust their strategies. You don't just back startups, you launch industries from scratch. Think of it as holding the cheat codes to the global economy. With one signature, you can fund a city's clean water, send rockets to space, or rewrite the future of transportation. Your net worth rises and falls with stock tickers, and your tweets can shake currencies. But the point is, every decision echoes across continents. If you support a project, thousands of jobs appear. If you divest, stock prices shudder. Your inner circle includes Nobel Prize winners, world leaders, and viral meme creators. You hire experts to manage your experts. Yet, for all the power, the view from the top is its own kind of isolation. Every handshake comes with a contract. Every favor has a price. You can change lives at scale, but true connection becomes rare air. In the end, each level is just a new game with new rules. Whether you're counting pennies or billions, the real wealth is knowing what matters when the numbers fade away.